He's back, the man, the myth, the legend that is Joe Satriani. Let's dive into this next fantastic voyage. What Happens Next by Joe Satriani. So Joe Satriani doesn't really need too much of an introduction. If you are into guitars, you've at least heard the name, and if you love guitarmanship, then you definitely know Joe Satriani. He got a really big kick in the late 80s and just flew through the 90s, 2000s. He has such very modest and subdued album titles, such as Super Colossal, Shockwave Supernova, Unstoppable Momentum, Crystal Planet, Surfing with the Aliens. But what we have here is a little bit more of a subdued title of What Happens Next. And what we have on What Happens Next is a lot of more of the same, which is just fine by me in terms of Joe's playing styles. And in fact, there's a lot more really meaty moments on this as opposed to just the noodling around on the guitar. And the album opens up very well with energy, and it is exactly that. It's got a lot of energy, it's got a really easy hook to follow along and really kind of digs in the feet with enough of the flourishes to kind of keep us excited and coming back for more as well. Now, the track that I particularly enjoy is Catbot. I love the groove and like the effects that he has on the guitar. Like, it definitely feels like a robotic sound on there, really bopping, very easy to follow through, and then just a little flourish here and there just to keep our like appetites wet. And I love the song that follows this up, Thunder High on the Mountain. Again, grand scale titles here, but it has that same kind of driving force that, say, a Muse track would have. And with that picking going on with it as well, oh man, I love that little treat. Cherry Blossoms ticks it down a little bit. Like, it humanizes the band. It's a little bit of an intimate aspect, and I love how he's able to do this. We have those soaring soundscapes that we have from Thunder on High as well as Catbot, but that really intimate moments that we have within Cherry Blossoms without losing that technicality is just out of this world. That picking that we have, that do 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 do, it's just you know? And that same kind of feeling is found within the next song of Righteousness, where, again, you got a little bit of that high flourishes going on with a really nice bass line driving us through. Unfortunately, unlike a lot of the other songs, Righteousness is one of the first songs of a little bit of a down, not necessarily a down spiral, but like ones that aren't quite as memorable, because I feel like we're getting a lot of the same that we've had before. And Smooth Soul kind of has that same aspect as well. Like, I do understand that it's like a smoother, jazzier approach where it's a little bit slower, but we have more of that technicality, and it does have that intimate feeling that we have, but I don't know, it doesn't have that long-lasting effect that I was kind of hoping that it would. Now, the next song that follows that up, Head Rush. This one's a really fun time. This reminds me a little bit more of Energy that we had at the beginning, and I wonder if the two follow a little bit too close, but I do know that Joe's styles lead us very well within this kind of presentation. Looper, it's kind of that forgettable track that's very similar to Smooth Soul and Righteousness. This is where the album starts to peter out in terms of like keeping it really fresh in my mind. Now, luckily, the title track has that really memorable moment that we have like within the chorus of the song, and it's weird that it's the chorus even though it's an instrumental album. But anyway, when we get into that theme that's reprised again and again, that's a really meaty and memorable moment that I feel like a lot of those other songs didn't quite have. Like, as memorable and as amazing as they are, they didn't have that meat that you can really grab onto that will come back later on. And the last three tracks are just kind of there. Like, I was kind of hoping for a song such as Super Funky Badass there'd be a little bit more of a meat to it. It is the longest song, coming in at 7.5 minutes, and within his longer tracks, those are the ones that I really, really enjoy. That's where I was hoping for like that really meaty, but I didn't really feel that here. And same with Invisible and Forever and Ever. These last few tracks, it almost felt like he was a little bit out of steam. He wasn't. He was completely with the energy, but it just didn't impact me as much. Now, the noodling, the guitar work, the showmanship, mastery of the craft, it's all there within these last few tracks, but I didn't quite feel as connected as I did with the first couple of tracks. Now, maybe this is just because I'm still getting into the album, I'm still really digesting the album, and at this point I'm only able to digest the first handful of tracks. Hopefully, as I listen to this album, as I do with a lot of his albums, the motifs and the energy that is found within the later half of this album will start to become apparent. So overall, I've been loving this album, as I do with all of Joe's work. He's a master of the craft, he's a master of the guitar work. Now, this is an interesting one to rate, because my overall rating of this and how I would say is to stream this album, but because it's such a master work of guitarmanship, I would probably say pick this up in physical format as an overall rating, but as a more objectifiable and practical rating, I'd say stream it. So it's somewhere between those two. This is one of the few albums where I'm going kind of splitsies on that. But there you have it. What did you guys think of this album? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Whatever you thought, let me know by commenting down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys, as always, are definitely the best. And until next time, notes out.